Good afternoon, I'm Shawn Yao and this is One News Now. With less than a week before the President's fifth State of the Nation address, Cabinet officials agree that national security should be on the top of the government's priority list. Meanwhile, as far as the pandemic is concerned, the President's men warn that Metro Manila may revert to stricter community quarantine status. Maricel Halili joins us live from Mandaluyong to tell us the rest of the details from today's pre-SONA briefing. Mase, with anti-terror law still a hot topic, what does the cabinet have to say?
Shawn, security officials will not wait for the implementing rules and regulations to be crafted before they implement the anti-terrorism law. That is if the need arises. For the country's security chiefs, implementing rules and regulations or IRRs are needed in enforcing the anti-terrorism law. In a pre-SONA forum, National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon said an IRR serves as an operating manual. While they acknowledged this, both Interior Secretary Eduardo Año and Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said the lack thereof does not preclude them from implementing the law.
Kung nakabitin or nakabingit yung buhay ng ating mga mamamayan, we have to implement the law. Now, kung wala naman malalakihang terrorist threat, we can wait for the IRR.
We could wait for the IRR, but if there is a terroristic action now, we are going to use it.
This was also the advice of the U.S. Homeland Security, says Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin, who drafted the previous version of the anti-terrorism bill.
It cannot be abused. It can only be misused by law enforcement authorities. The penalties on law enforcement officers are horrendous. And you know what? This is a vast improvement on the version I introduced.
There are now 11 petitions before the Supreme Court questioning the measure's constitutionality. Critics question the timing of its passage amid the health crisis, especially when quarantine protocols have yet to be imposed consistently. But the Justice Department denies this.
I wouldn't really say that there is an inconsistent application of the rule of law. It just so happened that a greater number of those arrested came from the lower income groups. No?
To address these concerns, Secretary Año proposes a uniform implementation of health standards across local government units.
We suggest 10 to 30 days. Physical distancing, also 10 to 30 days imprisonment. At kung ikaw naman ay ipa-fine sa about between 1,000 to 5,000 pesos.
Shawn, during the pre-SONA forum this afternoon, Environment Secretary Roy Simato confirmed that some of the mining companies that were suspended by the late Environment Secretary Gina Lopez have already resumed their operation. This after they have met the required corrective measures provided by the DENR. Shawn?
Right, thank you for all those updates from today's pre-SONA forum. Maricel Halili joining us live from Mandaluyong. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, is standing by its statement, raising the alarm on the passage of the anti-terror law. In an online forum, CBCP Executive Secretary Father Jerome Ceciliano said the church still commends government efforts in battling acts of terrorism. However, he says lawmakers should have been more discerning in setting provisions in the anti-terror law.
Yung kanya kasing pagkakabalangkas, medyo flawed. Tsaka vague. So hindi lang dito issue yung nagtitiwala ba tayo sa implementers nito, in that sense gobyerno, kundi ayusin na rin muna sana kung papaano ito binalangkas. Baka naman yung pamahalaan din na maging terorista sa taong bayan. So we don't want that to happen.
Ceciliano also finds unfair the accusation of violating the separation of church and state. Palace Chief Legal Counsel Sal Panella recently said that the church's pastoral letter influences state matters. Ceciliano said it is the church's duty to ensure the community's welfare. Church leaders also see ABS-CBN being singled out after Congress denied its franchise renewal bid. Father Ino Cueto of the CBCP cautioned against the proposal of some lawmakers for ABS-CBN to sell the network.
Nakakatakot din ito dahil isang usapin nito ay parang an indirect way to silence people. Parang ang nakakalungkot ay parang ang gusto ng mga kongresista ay magiging tagapag-report ng mga magaganda lamang nilang ginawa. Kapag sinabi mo na hindi maganda yung kanilang ginawa ay magiging batayan ito para ikaw ay hindi bigyan nga ng prangkisa.
And the House of Representatives is busy gearing up for the President's State of the Nation address on Monday, July 27. To give us the details, we have News 5 correspondent Ria Fernandez live from Quezon City. Ria, what deviations are we expecting in this yearly tradition of having the SONA?
Sean, in observance of health protocols, the lower house will be doing away with some traditions in Monday's State of the Nation address. Meanwhile, state-run network RTVM assured the public that the president's speech will be aired live without edits. Only state-run radio television Malacanang or RTVM will be allowed entry at the Batasan on July 27. RTVM Executive Director Demic Pabalan said the president's report to the nation will be aired through the state media People's Television Network. And unlike the president's holo speech this month, which garnered criticism for allegedly being edited, the SONA this time will be aired live and as is. Also returning at the production's helm is Director Joyce Bernal.
Hindi po edited, verbatim po. Kung ano ho yung events na nangyayari, ilalabas po ng RTVM.
The number of attendees will be limited to ensure social distancing. Only 25 House lawmakers and a few of their support staff will be permitted to attend the morning session at 10 a.m. and the address in the afternoon. Senators and some Malacanang officials will also attend physically. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said that the president will deliver his speech in a chamber separated from guests.
He will be addressing the nation from the same podium, but for the safety of all members of Congress and the employees of the House. He will be delivering his SONA in a chamber that will not be filled by the legislators, officials, and dignitaries that usually attend this function.
Invitations have also been sent out to the usual guests such as Vice President Leni Robredo and former presidents. Although they have yet to confirm, attendees have to undergo RT-PCR swab test for COVID-19 this weekend before being allowed entry. They also have to go through rapid tests on the day of the event. Minimum health protocols will also be imposed, such as the wearing of face masks and face shields. Shaking hands with the president when he arrives and finishes his speech is prohibited. Live performances are also not part of this year's SONA, and the national anthem will be pre-recorded and sung by children from different parts of the country. Sean Pabalan also said that they have readied Malacanang as the president's alternate venue in delivering his speech in case an emergency happens that makes Batasan not conducive for the upcoming address. Sean?
Right, certainly lots of changes with this year's SONA, not escaping the new normal. Thank you very much for that update, Ria Fernandez from Quezon City. And in all likelihood, Bayanihan 2 will be the first measure to get passed once Congress opens next week, according to House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Joey Salceda. According to Rep. Salceda, the Senate might be able to pass Bayanihan 2 in the third and final reading. Recall that last month, the upper house approved the measure on second reading but adjourned without giving it the final nod. Salceda is pegging the measure's budget to be around 140 billion pesos for the country's COVID-19 war chest. Salceda also stressed that it's time for Congress to tackle charter change as it's been lingering in the dockets for 5 years now. Delaying discussions to next year, he says, might be a little too late. Critics are questioning the timing of the discussion on Chacha.
has been at least 5 years already of time spent really on tackling. So I think there is a sense of inevitability that the House will tackle the changes to the charter.
Okay.
Because that's next year is too late.
Meanwhile, the Makabayan bloc in Congress has asked the House panel on legislative franchises to allow plenary deliberations on ABS-CBN's franchise. Bayan Muna Party List Representative Carlos Zarate said it is the right of every House member to express their opinion through a plenary vote. For Zarate, there's no compelling reason for the committee to reject the network's franchise bid. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. COVID-19 cases in the country jumped to over 72,000 today, with over 1,500 new cases. And this brings active cases to 46,803. 90% of these cases are mild. Nearly 1,000 of the new cases come from the National Capital Region. Casualties from the virus still stands at single digits, bringing the total to 1,843. Total recoveries are now over 23,000 with the addition of 342 new recoveries. And 8 PSG or Presidential Security Group personnel assigned to Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea have tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement, PSG Group Commander Jesus Durante said Jesus Durante III said that the 2 officers and 6 enlisted personnel tested positive for the virus. Meanwhile, Executive Secretary Medialdea tested negative for COVID-19. Durante also assures the public that the president is safe with no close contact among those who got infected. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao, and we are One News.